There's levels to money, ranging from broke as a joke all the way up to wealthy and optimizing to build more wealth. There are 5 books that I recommend as excellent guides to complement your money journey at each one of those money levels. In this video, I'll describe each one of the money levels of building wealth and review a book that goes perfect with that stage of the journey. Based on which level of money you identify with, you'll know which personal finance book is good for you to read at this moment. That way you don't waste any time with easy practices that you're already familiar with, and you also don't overwhelm yourself with advanced concepts. So the 5 books that we will discuss today are going to be number 1, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Number 2 will be I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. Number 3 will be Set for Life by Scott Trench. Number 4 will be The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. And number 5 will be Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. These books will go in order from beginner level all the way up to advanced. Don't be ashamed of the level of the wealth journey that you identify with. I personally taught myself about money, reading dozens of books, just like the ones I'm talking about today, and honestly watching lots of content online, just like what you're watching right now. When I first got started, my wife and I had a grand total of $170,000 in debt. Now we have a 6-figure net worth, and we did it all just using simple strategies that are talked about in these books, like paying off debt, budgeting, and investing. We did it by working our regular jobs, not by side hustles, not by investing in a bunch of real estate, and not by being our own boss. The tips and strategies in these books and what I'll talk about today are perfect for corporate professionals and W-2 earners. Today's Black-owned business shout out is going to be Eastside Golf. This is their logo here. It is a golf company, but they have excellent quality clothing and they have an excellent story, the 2 brothers that started that business. So shout out to Eastside Golf. Now let's jump right into the content. Okay, so book number 1 is going to be The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is probably the most notable figure in the personal finance space. He's someone that everybody knows and at least recognizes his name or face. Now, although I'm not a huge fan of Dave Ramsey, in fact, I really don't like his content very much at all, this is truly like the starter kit. If you were just getting started with your wealth journey, this is a perfect place to start. It's great for people that have a negative net worth, like what I had when I first started. It's great if you haven't started budgeting consistently. It's great if you're starting off with just getting out of debt. If you don't know where to start, and if you haven't started yet, this is where to start. This is level 1 of your wealth journey. In this book, Dave talks about the 7 baby steps. These steps are really good, but I personally only recommend the first 4. The last 3, I'm just going to say it, they're trash. There's a reason why people that really know money and that teach personal finance say really bad things about Dave Ramsey. He has some very strong opinions. And those strong opinions usually go astray with wealth building once you get past the first 4 baby steps. One of the best things that Dave Ramsey is known for, which is coming from the Total Money Makeover, is the snowball method. The snowball method is excellent, and I mean top of the line. This is something that was popularized by Dave Ramsey. People have done it before him, but in this book is where it really took off. I actually have a calculator for you to create your own snowball method so that you can pay off your debt extremely fast. And this is based off of the snowball method in Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. The last 3 baby steps in the Total Money Makeover have something to do with like paying off your primary residence fast and before you invest. Second is in saving up or investing so that you can pay for your children's education. And then third is build wealth. Now, you do need to build wealth, and those other 2 things are important to do if they're important to you, but the timing of when you do that is not before you build wealth. Once you have a good handle on your debt and you're following a really good budget, you should start investing way before you start paying off your house or saving up for your kids' education. The big problem with the build wealth portion of the 7 baby steps is he doesn't give you a really good plan on how to invest. So this brings us to some of the more advanced strategies later on in some of the other books. So let's transition into level number 2, if you're ready for some more advanced concepts. This is where you know the basics. You don't need to know the small little tiny baby steps that Dave Ramsey talks about. After reading The Total Money Makeover, I was very excited. I was very enthusiastic about learning more, and I wanted to know quickly, how can I build wealth How can I start investing? How can I start making a difference rather than just paying off debt? I was tired of dealing with the mistakes that I made in the past, and I wanted to start being strategic about what I'm going to do in the future. Even though I was excited about all these things, I still had a decent amount of debt, and I was just getting started budgeting. So if this is where you are, you're probably on level 2. For everyone on level 2, we're going to talk about the book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi is an excellent book. If you only bought one book out of this 5 and you could only study one, this is the one that you could start with. The reason I ranked it at number 2 or level 2 is because it still starts you in the very beginning, but it also takes you up into the investing portions as well. But it gives such a range of advice that is not specific to any one area. Dave Ramsey is specific to the very beginner level. And it has some pretty advanced investing advice as well, but there are better books that hit each one of these points harder. Ramit is most popular for this book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and he's actually spun that into many other ventures as well. The biggest being a Netflix series that went live 2022 or 2023. He's credited for teaching millions of people all about money. The title of this book is a little gimmicky, and it sounds like I Will Teach You to Be Rich, but it literally will teach you to be rich if you can just follow the steps. So far, if you've liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the future videos that come out. So now we're going to go into the 3rd level of your wealth building journey. This is when you're getting to the bottom of your debt and it's almost paid off. This is when you've started budgeting a decent amount and you've also dipped into investing a little bit, but you're realizing you can't invest a lot because you don't make enough money to take care of all your bills, continuously pay off debt quickly, and invest. There's a lot of different strategies and a lot of different goals being mixed into one income. So this is where you realize you need to make a little bit more income, and the goal of your income is to invest even more than what you're able to right now. And this is where the 3rd book comes in, which is Set for Life by Scott Trench. And Scott Trench is currently the CEO of a company called Bigger Pockets. Scott is the ex-host of the Bigger Pockets Money podcast. I was actually interviewed and featured on the Bigger Pockets Money podcast, episode 221. So if you guys want to watch that and learn a little bit more about my backstory and how I went from $170,000 in debt to my current net worth, you could definitely watch that video there. But let's talk about Set for Life. Set for Life has one main theme that Scott teaches, and that is decrease your expenses, earn more income, and then invest the difference. So just like everybody knows exactly how to lose weight, the 2 things you can do are work out more and eat less. In doing this, you'll lose weight. The exact same thing is true with money. Everyone knows if you want more money, you can spend less money and earn more money, and you'll have more money to keep. Scott goes through the meat of the book talking about those 2 portions. One is spending less money just by controlling your spending, budgeting, and not allowing debt to hold you back. But like he says, you can only decrease your expenses so much. You can't get to 0. You still need to spend money on living expenses. You still need to spend money on food and what you're eating. And there's going to be other expenses that come up as well, like transportation. But on the other side of the token, you can always increase your earnings exponentially. So you can increase it a little bit or you can increase it a lot, but there's no max on how much you can increase your earnings by. So he goes into some ideas about how you can increase your income. And if you keep your base of your spending at a minimum, you'll have a gap between the amount of money that you earn and the amount of money that you spend. That gap is where he talks about investing. And if you invest that gap, now you can quickly and efficiently increase your net worth. Set for Life is at the 3rd level because it does talk a little bit about the beginning steps about spending less money and controlling, but it also talks about some more advanced strategies about how to increase your income and increase your net worth. Okay, so now that you know all about increasing your income and you've started dipping deeper into investing because you now have no more debt and you're using the money you used to use for debt for investing, you've probably experienced a whole cycle of earning more money, investing more money, seeing what works in investing and what does not work for investing for you. So now you're ready to come up with an investment plan that is long-term, that will help you build wealth over time, because now you know you can earn more money and you can build your net worth. So this brings you into level 4 of the wealth building journey. Okay, level number 4 is going to be for the book, The Simple Path to Wealth. This book by J.L. Collins is going to be all about investing. It is not super advanced investment material. It's all about literally being the smartest investor and the safest investor. It is very DIY friendly. You don't need to hire a fund manager. You don't need to invest in someone else's mutual fund. In fact, you'll learn all about why mutual funds are not the right suggestion in this book, but rather index funds. Examples of index funds are the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ. And an index fund is just a large group of companies that is wrapped into one stock. And you'll learn some of the beginner and advanced strategies for investing right here in this book. Now, really quickly, I'm going to plug a book that I wrote myself, Get Started Investing in One Day. You can download this ebook from my website on wealthismyworth.com/books. You'll see the 3 books that I have available on my website at the top. And in addition to that, you can also find links to all the books I'm talking about today and some additional books as well. All right, we've reached the top. Level 5 of the wealth building journey is going to be when you're an advanced investor, you have no more debt, you have the income that you desire, and now all that you want to do is optimize your investment strategy for building wealth efficiently like the ultra rich are doing. You don't have to be ultra rich to get to this level, but you do want to use some of the same strategies that they use to get where they are. And that brings us to the next book, which is going to be Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is generally known as a motivational speaker. He started his life off very poor. He became an entrepreneur. He learned a lot about money, and then he made a lot of money. He's always been very, very passionate about money, and that's really what inspired this book to be written. He wrote it so that the normal people that can't dig into the numbers and that don't have the ability to talk to the people that he has access to could still take advantage of the knowledge that he was able to gain over his lifetime. And the really cool thing about this is the book was written by him interviewing some of the top people in the investment world that have literally built their wealth off of investing into stocks. People like Warren Buffett. The secret that Warren Buffett knows, you can also learn by reading this book. But you don't want to jump into Warren Buffett's brain if you haven't reached level 5. Make sure you've gone through levels 1 through 4 and you've mastered those before you try to master the whole entire game of money. This book truly does teach you how to master the game of money. It talks all about investing. It touches on a lot about index funds, like what we talked about in level 4, but it goes much deeper into the analytics and the math behind why certain investment strategies work and why other investment strategies do not work. There's a lot of hidden gems, a lot of secrets that this book exposes, and the concepts in this book are at the top level. You definitely don't want to jump into this book if you're just getting started or if you don't really understand investing yet. This is a huge book. It's super thick. There's a lot of pages. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of jargon that really you kind of need to know a little bit more about investing to understand. The book does talk about simple things like 401ks and the fees that goes into it, but it also gets deeper into the math about the taxes that goes into investing and when you should sell and when you should buy so that you can optimize your strategy for the best results. So those are the 5 levels of the wealth building journey. I would love to know where you think you are in this journey, levels 1 through 5. And if you want more information about anything specifically that I talked about in this, go ahead and drop it in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe so that you don't miss any of the future videos. These are just 5 of the recommendations I have, and I tied them specifically to where you might be on your wealth building journey. But I have dozens more personal finance books that I've read. So we'll come back to this video topic and we'll review some more books in the future. That's all for now. Don't forget, you are worthy of wealth.